What's going on, boys? This is Moonchild, the Dude No Way, and today we are talking about the very first Titan build post Beyond Light, and let me start by saying, this one's a banger. Behemoth Titan has some absolutely ridiculous play potential, and I'm going to show you how to make an ability engine that lets you take advantage of your entire kit all game long. But before we get into the meat and potatoes of the build and that sexy synergy that goes along with it, please do me a solid and slap that subscribe button to help me get to my first 100 subs. Hit the bell and press all, because I'm out here every week with a brand new video for your sub box, and with that out of the way, let's get into it. So today we're combining Stasis with the Heart of Inmost Light, and what this is going to allow us to do is get extremely fast recharge on all of our abilities. The movement capabilities of this class are insane. S tier, actually, rivaled only really by Top Tree Dawnblade in terms of the skill ceiling you're working with. The aspect Cryoclasm gives you a buffed slide, which not only has a longer distance, but also shatters stasis crystals. The melee Shiver Strike lets you close large gaps in the span of a second and can be used both offensively and defensively to get yourself out of a sticky situation. For this reason, we're going to want to have it up as often as possible, and Heart of Inmost Light is going to help us do that. The exotic perk states, using an ability, grenade, melee, or barricade, empowers the other two abilities. Empowered means abilities have faster regen, melees and grenades do more damage, and barricades have more hit points. This exotic has so many working parts, and while it does give you additional damage on your grenade and your melee, it's pretty minimal, and neither that nor barricades having additional hit points is the reason we're going to be putting this on. But using an ability to buff the recharge rate of the other two, now you've got my attention. So with this setup, we're going to use a barricade to give us a fast cooldown on our melee and our grenade, and using a grenade is going to give us a fast cooldown on our barricade and melee, and so on. The ability to buff your own recharge rates so easily makes this a top tier pick, because instead of putting your stat points into discipline and strength, you can put them into places that matter more, like recovery, resilience, and intellect, and still have your abilities up as though you spec'd hard for them. It's amazing. Even on its own, it's amazing. But then you throw in Stasis and it gets taken to a whole other level. The Aspects and Fragments for a Titan give perfect synergy for this build to shine. The first aspect, Cryoclasm, which I talked about earlier, gives you a longer distance slide that shatters stasis crystals. This ability has 2 charges and is on a very short internal cooldown, kind of like Icarus Dash on the Warlock, and just like Icarus Dash, you can use this to make insane plays because your enemy just flat out won't expect you to be able to close the gap that quick. Shotgunning with this perk is a breeze, and the fact that it shatters stasis crystals, like the ones from our Glacier Grenade, synergizes well with our second aspect, Tectonic Harvest. This states that shattering a stasis crystal will leave behind a stasis shard. Picking up the shard gives melee energy to you and nearby allies. So with the Heart of Inmost Light, we can recharge our melee by using a barricade or grenade, and now we also can shatter stasis crystals to give us more melee energy on top of that. Combine that with the fragment Whisper of Shards, which states shattering a stasis crystal boosts grenade recharge rate, and now every time we shatter a stasis crystal, we're not only getting melee energy back from the stasis shards, but we're also boosting our own grenade recharge, and this stacks with the empowered buff from Heart of Inmost Light. If we need even more, the bomber perk on our mark gives us a chunk of grenade energy back when we use our class ability. Before we move forward, I want to briefly discuss the proper way to utilize the ability engine so that you're getting the most bang for your buck in every game of PvP. Ideally, you want to start engagements by throwing a grenade, because shattering a target is a quick and easy kill. Once your wall of ice is destroyed, you're going to want to wait until the improved ability regeneration from Whisper of Shards wears off. Doing this before you pop your barricade to empower your grenade and melee gives you the time you need to cycle the buffs one after another and have a grenade back as soon as the empowered falls off. If you do this correctly, even at low discipline levels, your grenade will be damn near full, if not fully charged, by the time these 2 buffs are completed. How long is that in real time, you might ask? To put the power of this combo into perspective, a full tier 10 discipline gets you your grenade back in 32 seconds, which is pretty fast, right? With the Heart of Inmost Light, I'm currently at a tier 3 discipline stat, and cycling these buffs gets me my grenade in only 25 seconds. A full 7 seconds sooner than someone who put all their points into discipline. You starting to see what I'm talking about here? The stats from my armor are weighted towards recovery with intellect and resilience as secondaries, but I'm still able to get faster cooldowns than if I had spec'd into them, and it's very effective when you get it rolling in game. Next, we're throwing on Whisper of Fissures, which increases the explosion radius of any shattered stasis crystal. This fragment is ridiculous in the amount of power it gives. The explosions of crystals is absurdly huge, to the point where it probably needs tuning. This fragment alone has led to so many multi-kills and clutch plays, me saying this right now isn't even enough to tell you how good it is. But you can watch the footage on screen and see it for yourself. It's incredibly strong. Use it while it's OP, boys, cause the Nerf gun is coming for this one, I promise. The final fragment we're running is Whisper of Hedrons, and this gives you a 25% damage bonus every time you shatter a frozen enemy. This comes up more often than you think. Tossing your glacier grenade at an enemy's feet can usually net you an easy freeze. Slide through it and now your weapons are dealing a hefty amount of extra damage. This synergizes perfectly with our primary weapon, the Ace of Spades. With the Whisper of Hedrons buff, getting a kill with Ace of Spades only requires 1 crit and 2 body shots. It's very relaxed, very forgiving, but when you get a kill with Ace and proc its exotic perk Memento Mori, which gives you 6 high damage bullets at the start of the magazine, Whisper of Hedrons and Memento Mori allow you to 2-tap Guardians to the head, dealing a crispy 108 damage, and with the recent buffs to handcannons, Ace of Spades is sitting pretty at the top of the meta. For this build on our helmet, we're going to be running High Energy Fire, which gives us a second way to proc that insane 108 damage when we're charged with light. High Energy Fire lasts until you get a kill, so you can utilize this to get high chip damage on a target and then let your teammates clean them up, and you'll still have your damage buff when it's all said and done. Oftentimes, a single Memento Mori headshot is enough to secure a duel for your team, so if you're careful about who you shoot, you can actually keep this up for a while, and then use the final 2 Mori rounds to get your 2-tap. 108 is more than half of our hit points, and running close to teammates who have 120 RPM handcannons on is going to basically be you and them dump trucking the entire enemy team until one of you gets got. If you both slide into an engagement and headshot the same guy, that Guardian is instantly deleted. No nonsense, no counterplay, just their entire life from full to dead in a fraction of a second. And while the damage on its own is very strong, there's more to be said here. You see, Memento Mori makes Ace 3-tap from basically any distance on the current maps in rotation. It hits from crazy ranges, and even far outside of where you experience damage fall off, it's extremely consistent. Those extra damage bullets somehow feel even stickier than regular shots, which is wild since Ace has a beefy aim assist of 70. This isn't as high as something like Dire Promise, but 70 aim assist is nothing to sneeze at. Especially when you consider that handcannon targeting from the artifact only costs 1 energy this season. And Ace has so many perks on its own. Let's not forget about the Hidden Outlaw perk that triggers when you get a precision kill. Or how about the fact that radar remains active when you aim down sights? And the cherry on top of it all is Firefly, which blows up enemies and kills dudes nearby that are weak. Like every single time I run Ace of Spades, there are points where I snag a double kill because somebody happened to be in that Firefly area. It's back, baby. A top tier pick. Somebody call Rafiki because the king has returned. Other notable mods in this setup are taking charge as well as stacks on stacks to become charged with light and gain an additional stack every time we do. This hurts your recovery, so I recommend having a base of tier 10 before equipping stacks on stacks so your health regen remains competitive. You should put on Shotgun Scavenger, double unflinching handcannon aim from the artifact, which again only costs 1 energy each, handcannon loader, and fastball so your grenades go where you want them to. With all of that being said, what exactly is it that makes Behemoth so damn good? Aside from how varied the aspect and fragment system is, straight up, the reason to run this subclass is the movement. That extended cryoclasm slide allows you to position yourself either behind cover or in someone's face in the blink of an eye. The melee, Shiver Strike, lets you literally Superman punch your way through the air. When you combine these with quick wit and an aggressive playstyle, you become very hard to pin down. Enemies are going to frustrate themselves trying to win their 1v1s against you. This kit, with these abilities and aspects, is literally the most mobile Titan we've ever seen in all of Destiny. I was using this build on stream the other day, which, if you are not aware, we stream Monday and Tuesday nights from 9 PM to midnight on Twitch. Link to that's in the description below. But I ran this for 3 straight hours of PvP, and every single game I was making ridiculous plays. You can see it in the background gameplay, how I took advantage of everything in my toolbox. I'm using the grenade to both boost myself quickly out of the enemy crosshair and also position myself for an offensive push to get the kill. When I can't engage enemies effectively because they're too far away, I Superman punch my way into cover. Then, to jumpstart the ability engine, I pop my barricade, which again gives a chunk of grenade energy back because of the bomber mod on our class item, and also because of Heart of Inmost Light, that barricade begins supercharging both my grenade and melee so I can continue to slay out. The gameplay loop is powerful and satisfying. This setup is exponentially better the more actions your mind can handle at once. Remembering the additional distance on your slide, remembering not just to use Glacial Grenade for shattering enemies, or to keep Ace of Spades out when charged with light or Whisper of Hedrons damage bonus is active, understanding when and how to best utilize the melee either for repositioning or picking up a quick kill, all of this needs to be monitored actively on a second-to-second basis, and this in and of itself makes the skill ceiling for not only this subclass, but especially this build very high. People who are able to play effectively while maintaining awareness of all the different effects they have rolling are going to absolutely demolish with this combo. It's a lot to keep track of, don't get me wrong, but the more you play with it, the easier the rhythm becomes and the smoother your gameplay will feel match to match. If you feel like challenging yourself, grab a fork and a box of Crayola and give this build a shot. If you enjoyed this content, leaving a like on this video may cause your wildest dreams to come true. Thanks for watching. I am Moonchild of Dude No Way, and I will see you in the next video.